All right, let's do this, man. Episode two.
Yes, let's go.
Let's fucking go, bro. All right then.
Let's get it.
So
Let's
basically,
get
how was
it.
your week, bro? Let's start it off with the usual. Let's do a daily homie check-in.
The week. Let me start off my week, man. Like I said, we keep it real here. So my week started off good on Monday. Uh, Tuesday, sick. Wednesday, sick. Thursday, sick. Friday was sick as well, but it was my hey, keeping it real, man.
Yeah.
And let me tell you about finances and about how we live in a society where like it's crazy. And let me tell you why though, because we went to the hospital. I believe it was on Thursday. We went to the hospital just to go check what we have or whatever.
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't COVID or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They said we had the flu.
Yeah.
Now I just went to go check, man. They're gonna my bill, bro, and I'm like, no, what the heck? Like they didn't do anything, and then my bill came up to close to 500, and I didn't even sit down, bro. And I'm just like, that's whack,
They charge you for breathing in the hospital.
Basically, which to me, I didn't go for myself. I already knew what I had, I'm still recovering, but I did it old school, bro. Just give me the honey tea, just give me the water, give me the freaking Pedialyte, give me the freaking sopa, give me some soup, and I'm good, man. You know what I mean? But I took my nieces. My sister wanted to go, so I took my nieces. And but yeah, they're better. I'm really recovering, but that's basically what my week contained, bro. Just freaking, I was in bed for I think it was Monday and Tuesday. I was laying in bed all day, bro, and just trying to recover, and it was bad. But now I feel a little better. It just sucks because during the whole time that I was sick, I was like, man, like I was thinking about. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I was missing the gym. I was like, man, I could have been doing this workout, or I could have been doing this workout, but I'm not gonna put nobody at risk either, with the mask either. I'm like, nah, I'd rather not. But yeah, that's my week. What about yours?
My week was okay. I actually had a final for school because I recently went back to it, but just like you, I spent a lot of these last few weeks being sick, so I missed a very good chunk of the semester. So I didn't really do that well, if I'm being honest. But we're gonna be back. I mean, that's not the end of it. It was just like about since Thanksgiving week, so it's only been what like 3-4 weeks of school. But I missed like a week and a half, give or take. So I literally missed half of the semester, quote unquote. But yeah, other than that, I'm just ready for the holidays, basically. I mean, there's nothing really left to do at this point of the year. Now it's just kind of like, time to just settle down, relax, and just kind of chill out with the family and just enjoy that bonding time.
Ready for the holiday food. You can say the tamales and the champurrado and
I'm ready to get chunky, bro. Put on some weight. Nah, but in all honesty, I think that I don't know, bro. Like I want to say, like I'm gonna try not to eat so much, but then when you have the food in front of you, it's like, oh, like give me some of this, give me some of that. And before you know, you basically take in a whole buffet.
Yeah, that's what happened for Thanksgiving. I went to my brother's house and they made brisket. They made all types of food, bro. And I told myself I'm only gonna eat one plate. I gotta watch how I eat. And it was just the brisket was so good, bro. They had all types of barbecues, spicy, mild, regular, and I was like, I think I had like 3 plates. And my brother was like, I thought you were going to the gym. And I was like, bro, don't. I'm like, bro, don't judge me, all right? I'm gonna work it out tomorrow. but yeah, man. I know it's easier said than done,
Definitely.
but 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 bro, don't be afraid to to eat a little more and you can always work it out. I'm glad you're gonna be spending it with the family. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Which to me, yeah, it is. I mean, every day it is. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
but sometimes if we're being honest, we feel for people at times because
Yep.
I don't know about you, bro, but I know people that don't necessarily have like a functional family. So around the holidays, it becomes kind of like the winter blues, bro.
I get it, bro. Honestly, I've been there a few times. Not, and I mean, my life story.
Hmm.
When I was in foster care,
Yeah.
I kind of went through that season where it was Christmas. I couldn't spend it with my family, and or is this and that. So I get it. I feel like I actually have a friend right now too that he's actually going through that. He
Hmm.
doesn't really have his like family around, and I'm not gonna really get into his story or whatever, but he just goes out, he just walks the city, goes out, unwinds, and just to have like your parents here, to have your family here, it's a luxury.
Hmm. Definitely.
Everybody has different. That's why when I was saying in the last podcast, like how if you're on the first episode, how if we wake up being grateful for where
Hmm.
you're at, forget about the material things, but if you wake up being grateful for where you're at, like, okay, I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful that I have my eyes, that I have my hands, that I have my feet, that I have my whole body intact, that I have food in my belly, that I have food in my fridge, go on and so forth. Oh, thank God I have a bed, blankets, a house, because if there's always somebody that has it worse,
Hmm.
and I've been there before when I lived in the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been there before when I lived in Skid Row, LA. Uh, and when I'm writing this book, it takes me back. Like, man, like, I'm not saying this for pity, and
Hmm.
you know that I'm not, or
Yeah.
even to the listeners either, because it just reminds me of where I was at, but it also reminds me of like somebody has it worse than you. What can you do? What can you do? What is our job and our goal in this podcast? Like we talked about, like is it to impact and to inspire other people, right?
Hmm.
Maybe somebody's listening right now. Is like, you know what? I want to volunteer to give to the poor, or man, like they've had a change of mentality. Like, man, I wasn't grateful, but because you guys are mentioning it, let me try it out. So they have that mind rewired, and they start doing things differently. So it's all about just something to think about.
I feel a lot of the times everything that happens to our life at the end of the day is perspective. I feel like what we take in and the way we kind of decode it or the way we take it in and kind of deal with it, I think that ultimately gives us either the mindset to win or be happy or fail and be sad because as you mentioned there's people out there that definitely have had it tough or way more
Yep.
tougher than us. As I was in school, as I mentioned, I didn't really have the best first semester. I remember
Yeah.
as I was starting the school, I remember one of my counselors was talking about a time where she was actually going to quit school because she went to school, I believe, for her master's. And at one
Yeah.
point, she was burned out because she said she was constantly working two jobs and on top of that,
Mhm.
school. So she had told one of her professors, like, this is a big workload. I don't necessarily think
Yeah.
I could follow through and finish the semester. So I'm probably going to take a year off. And apparently, her professor told her, hey, you're so close. You're just a year away. Why are you going to take the year off? If
Mhm.
think about it, like there's a lot of people that go off a 1 year break and they never come back and they
Yeah.
never finish their school. So might as well just suffer through it and just take it basically. And then she was just telling us like the most successful people are not those people that always had it good or had it great. The most successful people
Yeah.
are the ones that are constantly going through shit, but at the end of the day, they just keep doing it. They keep doing
Yeah.
their task, or they keep doing their job, or following their dreams, no matter how shit or how much of a shitty situation their life may be in at the current moment.
Yeah, it's like we all go like you said, man, we all go through things in life, and it's up to you because you're your own person. So it's up to you. Either you want to stay where you're at and not change and not grow, not develop character, not develop anything, or man, bro, I'm gonna tell you when I was a little kid, bro, I lived in Skid Row, and then from there I lived in this hotel called the Huntington Hotel. You can search it up, the Huntington Hotel in downtown LA, bro. In downtown LA, and in this hotel, it was all types of gangs, all types of drugs, all types of activity, and and we were broke, right? We were broke. We were barely getting by. There was times when my mom would get food stamps. And I'll be like, okay, how could I flip it? So I'll go to the 99-cent store. I'll buy chocolates, 3 for $1, and then I'll keep buying a lot until I can make boxes. And I'll go to the beach, bro. I'll go to the beach. I go to all over downtown, go all over Santa Monica, and I'll freaking buy one chocolate bar, sell one chocolate bar for $1. So if I sell 3, I already made profit because it's 3 for $1, right? So I did that. So what I'm trying to say is this: is you have a choice. Either you're just there getting by, or you make it happen. You know what I mean? And that's a hustler's mentality. It doesn't have to be about money, because we all have to grow mentally.
Mm-hmm.
It can be about money. It can be about spirituality. It can be about anything. You just have to overcome. But you got to have a warrior's mentality, you know? So that's what it is, man. You know, like you just have to not be comfortable staying in the rut and try to change that situation. But we only have the power because, like I said, it's us that if we want to change, you know?
Yeah, I always found it kind of fascinating talking about you and your hustling spirit. I always kind of find it a little bit interesting, like those videos on YouTube about. I don't know if you've seen them. Maybe you have. It's like a daily. I don't know if it's a monthly challenge or a year challenge where someone starts off with a penny, and like the end goal is to make, I believe, over 100K, something like that. Those
Yeah,
videos are pretty interesting, bro, because it tells you, or it kind of gives you a little bit more insight on grit, basically. Like if you really want it, you do just about
yeah,
anything, bro. And it's crazy how these people start off with a penny and they get really far in making money. Some of them, of course, they don't meet the goal because,
yeah,
I mean, realistically, making 100K, I mean, to the average folk, I mean, that's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of
yeah.
money. But there's some people that get pretty close. But those videos are always very interesting to me, bro, because it shows like if you
The
really want it.
progress.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like if you really want it, you're gonna do just about anything, and they do all types of
yeah.
stuff, bro. Like they'll start off with a penny, and they'll buy a pen, and then they'll sell a pen, and then they'll buy a water, and
Mm-hmm.
then so forth and so forth. They'll do manual
Yeah,
labor, so they do just about anything to make ends meet, or keep going with the goal they had. And
yeah.
it's just really fascinating, bro. It's really fascinating. It's fascinating what people would do to actually, meet
Achieve
needs.
their goal.
Yeah, achieve their goals,
You know,
right?
to achieve their goal.
And I mean, it's like the old saying in Spanish: "El que quiere puede." If you really
Yeah,
want to, you'll do it.
exactly, man. It's all like it's all, and it goes back into discipline too. Because if you're in discipline and your goal is to reach 100K, and once you reach 50K, it takes discipline to continue to, because
to not drop it on the strip club.
right?
Yeah.
Because imagine you can be like, okay, my goal is 100K, and then you reach 50K, and you're like, Okay, I'm gonna go blow it. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna go do this. You know what I mean?
We're gonna go have
So it
some
takes.
fun.
So it takes. So it just takes. It takes discipline. You know. Uh, but yeah, man. Talking about school, I want to go back to school. I actually did 3 years of school.
Hmm.
I took some psychology classes, and so I don't know if I told you this before, but you kind of inspired me since you went back to school. So I kind of like just been thinking about that, thinking about other things too, which
Hmm.
we talked about off camera too. But just gotta see where life takes me, man. I gotta see what's up.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, a lot of people nowadays, bro, are so against school. Like they're constantly like, it's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam. But I feel if it's something that is necessary for you to better your life, and it's something that's gonna give you some sort of happiness, and there's actually possibilities of you growing in whatever field it is that you decide to go into. I mean, just take it, bro. Just take the opportunity.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it's crazy how people will go in debt for a car, but
yeah,
won't really go in debt for something that actually will better them, like
yeah.
school, bro. I mean, a car, it's slowly gonna depreciate in value, but I
Mhm,
mean, knowledge, if you keep on working at it, is something that very beneficial. And then, I mean, nowadays, bro, with the web, you could make money in just about any
mhm.
field, bro. Like if you really market yourself well, and you're someone that really knows the subject matter and could really help a lot of people, you could make a lot of money, bro. You could make a lot of money out of a lot of things. I mean, people constantly make money off of very stupid shit, but people eat it
Yeah,
up, and now we have a bunch of, I wouldn't really call them idiots, bro, because you kind of need a plan to make a lot of money,
yeah,
but what they're selling is really stupid, whether it be some type of show or some type of product or
yeah,
BS entertainment.
yeah.
You
Like,
could name a hundred of those people, bro.
yeah. Like, I honestly, I used to think that school was like you said. I used to think school was a scam. Now, education is free, man.
Hmm.
Education is free. Knowledge is free. You know, just opening up a book, you know, or learning. If you stay a student to the game, you stay a student, and because there's people that think that they know it all.
Yeah.
And I used to be one of those people too, man. I know it already. I know. You know, and I didn't know. You know, so you stay a student, you learn. Now, with that being said, like I said, I do want to go back to school. I just don't know what for what, and I don't know if I want to go back to doing psychology. Learning psychology or what I want to do. And the cool thing is that my job pays for this for the classes and everything. So I kind of want to take advantage of that, but I'm kind of like jiggling right now of what I want to do. I still want to do a little bit of music. I still want to do a little bit. I still want to do my writing and everything. But what it is, bro, and I'm gonna be honest, bro, is that fear. You know how they
Mm.
say. You know how they say that fear will hold you back. You know they say fear will hold you back, and then I don't want to, but I don't want to have that regret either. Like I don't want to be like, man, like 10 years later, man, I pass it by, like, man, I wish I wish I could have done that, or I wish, or what if, and honestly, I used to live by those words, like, what if I would have done this, what if I would have done that, and I don't want to live life like that, you know. I want to be able to say instead of what if, like, man, I did that, it didn't work, but I did it, you know, and that right there is confidence. So with that being said, it's like I just want to do it. I just want to do, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I say just go for it, bro. I mean, there's nothing wrong with education, and as you mentioned, like none of us know it all. I remember one of my teachers
yeah,
told me try to learn from everyone, even the people that you
mm-hmm.
think are kind of dull or dumb, because someone always knows something that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always something that you could actually take away from someone, whether it be a lesson or whether it actually be information and knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
some education, right? So you always wanna just jump in sometimes, bro, because I mean, you don't know what you might get out of it, bro. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people think. I mean, there's some people out there like I know that you're a big fan of ET, right? Eric Thomas, the
Yeah.
the hip hop preacher, the
Yeah.
motivational speaker, and he talks about how for him to get a bachelor's degree, a degree that on average is supposed to take you 4 to 6 years, it took him 12 years, bro.
Wow.
So I say you just jump in, bro. Kind of lose the ego, lose expectations of
Yeah.
what to expect in school, and then just kind of run with it. That's exactly what I did, bro, with my schooling. I remember when I was in college, I was all like, "Oh man, this ain't for me, bro. I'm different. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't belong with these people. I should be out there doing something or achieving greater things, and everybody's stuck in this school being a lab rat, right? That's kind of like the mentality that I had. And once I got the opportunity to work in the field that I was gonna go for, but I actually did it through a certification. And once I
Yeah.
kind of got my hands dirty and got one foot in the field, as the more I kept going with it, bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I kind of lost love for it after a point because you would see how saturated it was with people, and some people, with all due respect, that I felt didn't really have the credentials to be great teachers, if I'm being honest, or great coaches. So as I was doing that, the more I went through with it and the more years I put in the field, I was just like, hey man, I gotta find something else to do because even though I really like the field, I mean, first of all, I know it's not always about the money, bro, but at the same time, you can't live
Yeah.
without it. There was that type of problem, and then I realized that I don't necessarily really like to follow gym rules. Not in a sense that I'm a disrespectful person or I'm doing stuff
Yeah.
that's illegal, but there was a lot of curriculums that just didn't really make sense to me, bro. I wanted to teach people a certain way. I wanted to teach people things that were useful, but where the establishments where I was at, they were like, "Oh no, you gotta teach it this way, and you gotta do this that way." So as I
Yeah.
was doing this, it didn't really make any sense to me because I actually was, I actually was in the sport. I actually understood concepts,
Yeah.
and I felt a lot of these places or establishments where I was at, all they really cared about was a quick buck. They didn't really care too much about the people, and I felt like a lot of the times they
Yeah.
gave them like a false sense of security, and it just felt kind of dirty, bro. And I was just like, after a point, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I just was like, I'm just gonna go back to school. But the things that I've gone through and the establishments where I was at and the people that were the higher ups on top of me, it just kind of made me hate it, bro. And I knew that I didn't
Yeah.
really want to feel that way, but that's how I started feeling. So I was like, you know what? I got to get out of here and I got to go back to school and do a job that pays decently well, but ultimately allows me the opportunity to get back into my original field, but with me being kind of like the higher ups.
Yeah. And honestly, okay, so I remember you were telling me this a while ago, and being in an establishment where, I mean, we're all gonna have, I mean, being in an establishment where things are not done right, it can be either abuse of power, it can be it's being led in the wrong direction. Sometimes, bro, you can try to change things, you can try to do different things, but in the end of the day, if it's not going to change, sometimes it's just better to just pack up your bags and just walk away, right? Uh, or I've been in some cases too like that, where I felt like I wasted my words, I wasted my, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you give it your time, and especially if it's something that you love to do, like this is something you love to do, but and you don't want to hate the art form, you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to
There you
hate
go.
your art form, you don't want to be like, okay, I hate it, so I'm not gonna do it anymore. And honestly, bro, I've been there before with the music, and so I can relate in a certain way. But if some leaders are not going to do their job right, there's no point in arguing. It's just time to just refocus, peace, and wish you well, and do it on your own. But yeah, man, it's tough, man. It's really tough when you're in a place where you feel like it's it. This is okay. This is it. This is where I can see myself. This is where I'm gonna grow. This is my passion, and then things don't turn out the way they're supposed to be or how we imagine it, because we imagine a lot of things and oh, we want it to be this way, and sometimes it doesn't turn out to be the way that we pictured it in our mind. But it's alright though, things happen for a reason, and like I said, man, like I feel like you did the right thing, and this is where you're at right now. It's just something that life has to teach us, and so yeah.
Yeah, I just feel as people we expect too much sometimes. I felt that since they were technically my first two real professional jobs, I just felt, I don't know, bro, like you just feel like this is like a place where maybe you're gonna be able to climb up and
Yeah.
be like that one of the higher ups and kind of just be impactful. But
Mm-hmm.
when as you mentioned, sometimes you just go in through those front doors and then you realize that things will not be and are never going to be the way that you expect them to. Then
Yeah.
the best thing I feel like for everyone should just be to walk away. I don't really understand how some people will spend 40, 50 years being in an establishment that they don't really care too much about, and they're doing it just for financial safety, when in reality, I mean, that in itself is just killing them, because a lot of them just kind of lose the joy out of life. They're just like robots, bro. You just go in, clock in, do some BS job you don't care about, and then
Yeah.
repeat. I feel like that's cool early on in your life when
Yeah.
you're getting your foot into the corporate world. But I feel like as you get older, you should have something else established, bro. At least
Well,
that's how I think, and
well,
that's kind
well.
of like the pressure that I have on myself.
Yeah, I kind of think like if this is your art form. Okay, look, there's times, bro. There's times. Okay, I make music. There's times when people will come to my house to record.
Mm-hmm.
There's times when I don't charge people, you know, and then there's times when people will come and they'll record or whatever, but they don't really take it serious. So then I feel like they're just wasting my time, you know. So I'm just like whatever, But you gotta take your craft serious. For one, for second, it's like in this sense, you could say that I'll be the higher up, right? If somebody comes into the studio and they're okay, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to grow, teach me. Which I actually have people come in and I'll teach them. Okay, this is how you do this, how you do that. Or they want to learn how to rap, I'll teach you. I don't charge them or anything like that, but I'll teach them, and it's up to you to capture that. I know it's a little different, but it's kind of what I mean, different from what you're saying, but like with my craft, like I'm not gonna abuse it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like, uh, I'm gonna control the way you rap. I'm gonna control the way you sing. I'm gonna control
Mm-hmm.
the way you do things because you're your own person, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not gonna tell you how to punch. I'm not gonna tell you how to kick. I'm not gonna tell you how to, because that's not. I mean, I could, or you can teach me how to box, and you can give me suggestions, right? But I'm not gonna try to copy you or imitate you. But I'm gonna try to learn from you, and learn from this boxer, and learn from this trainer, and learn from this person. But sometimes, like people will be like, I said, do it like this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they want you to do it a certain way. Again, like you're your own person. You're your own individual. And sometimes people can become so controlling, especially if you're in a place of in an establishment where you're like high up, and some people don't know how to lead, and some people abuse their power. You know, I want you to do it like this or do it like,
Mm-hmm.
and it can get to that point. But if you walk in a business, in a relationship, in a friendship, and and anything in life, if you walk in expecting something, imagining something like, oh, this is gonna be a great relationship, or we're not gonna fight, we're not gonna argue, or man, seems like a great person to be a good friend with. We're not gonna fight. We're gonna be the bestest of friends, or whatever the case may be. If you put people, and this is what I've learned, if you put people in pedestals and they fail you, you're gonna get hurt, you know, and that's when you have high expectations for people and for things, because we can put high expectations on labels and on things, and we're like, man, I thought this is highest quality, but we have high expectations, but you know, so I feel like I'm trying not to have high expectations on people anymore, and because, well, for one, it's like we all fail, but then again, it's like I have to work on myself instead of focusing on other people, uh, and build my character. You know what I mean? And build myself and you know what I mean?
Yeah, but going back to what you said, bro, at the beginning, I feel like corporations or relationships or anything that you do with people, bro, you can't just put people in a box and treat them all the same because,
Exactly. Yeah.
like, if you don't give people like the creative freedom, as you mentioned, for example, with rapping, then you're not ultimately not you're gonna get the same style over and over and over
Mm-hmm.
and over and over again, which sometimes, I mean, if it's very catchy and people will fuck with it, then people are constantly gonna be bumping it, of course. But when it comes to, I don't know, like standing out, bro, and I don't know, like winning
Yeah.
stuff, like it needs to be something different, bro. There has to be something that makes you unique, and the same thing with people. People are all
Yeah.
unique, and they're all different. If a corporation or a place doesn't let the person work efficiently, then they're not gonna be able to produce anything out of
Yeah.
that worker. Or if you're treating everybody the same way you would have treated, the last one, two, three people that you were with, then maybe the next relationship
Yeah.
isn't gonna work because maybe the last relationship or the first relationship you ever had was kind of abusive. So now you kind of have to unlearn certain patterns, and you can't really
Yeah.
be that person to the following people. It's the same thing with like sports
Yeah.
psychology. If I know that my boxer is a little bit more calm, they work a little bit more like under pressure. If I'm not really screaming at them, then I
Yeah.
there's no need for me to be like, hey, let's fucking go, let's fucking go. Nah, bro, like we're gonna take it slow, gentle, relax, give clear, thought out
Mm-hmm.
instructions. But if I know that my boxer kind of needs, like how they say, have a stick up their ass, right? Constantly poke their ass for
Mm-hmm.
them to actually like get going, right? Or to just,
Yeah.
wake them up a little bit. Then of course, bro, I'll be like, hey, bro, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's keep it going, or
Yeah.
just something to fire them up. And if that's what they need, then that's what I'm gonna give them, bro. But I just can't see how a lot of corporations and a lot of people just kind of group people in one box and they treat everybody the same, bro.
Yeah.
I just find that kind of stupid as fuck, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, man. Going back to like you were saying, like you can have one, like, you can train one, like a few people, and everybody can be encouraged in a different way, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can scream at somebody like, "Come on, hurry up, let's go," and then to the other person, that might not even give them motivation. You know, maybe just like one signal or
Yeah.
something, or just one look, one stare in their eyes, or can give them that motivation, that reassurance, like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing it for," right? Like I remember a long time ago when I barely started working where I'm working at right now. I wasn't able. I wasn't pulling my percent right, and I remember my boss was like, "Do you have any kids?" And I'm like, "Nah, I have my nieces." And they're like, and he's like, "Put a picture in your wallet. Do you have a picture in your wallet or something?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Put it where you can see it, and let that give you motivation." you know. And to me, I was just like, that's crazy because I wouldn't really see it. I didn't really see it like that, but I mean, because
Oh yeah.
because it's I guess, I guess, and everybody gets motivation from their kids or from or whatever the case may be. Like you can get motivation. I've seen people have a mansion in their watch, or I don't know, what do you have it? Oh, just motivation because I'm gonna have it one day, And I believe in speaking things into existence.
Manifestation.
So I don't knock that down. I feel like that's why I like Kobe Bryant because I want to have that mentality, like going. I mean, I know it's going to be switching, but kind of like a topic, but that's why I like Kobe Bryant because I like his mentality. Being the first one in the room, being at work or at the gym or in a place of work, and at the gym, the basketball court, being the first one there, being the last one out. When I go to the gym, bro, I can be there 40 minutes, I can be there 30 minutes, but I don't leave until I know I'm sweating and I work my butt off. Yeah. I'm not gonna go to the gym for an hour and know that I didn't work and just leave. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable knowing I did that. And then second thing too, talking about I'm gonna talk about my brother. He's like, when I used to live with him, he was like, bro, remember how in the first episode I said that my brother will call me lazy, and I'd be like, I ain't lazy. Right. I'm the hardest worker in the room. I'm the first one at work. I'm the last one out. And there's times when I'll wash my car, and I'll wash the outside, but I wouldn't vacuum the inside. Or I'll cut the front of the grass, the front of the yard, but I wouldn't cut the backyard. And then he would tell me, bro, you need to stop. You need to stop asking stuff. Like, don't just start something, don't finish it. Like you have to finish with the start. And it took me a while to get, and I'm still learning to this day. But like when I see him, and I'm just like, man, like, yeah, he's stable in a lot of ways, like financially stable. He's this and that, but I see why he does it. Like, I see why he does it, and that within itself is like, I told my brother one time, like I inspire to be like that one day. Excuse me, I inspire to be like that one day, and so he inspires me, and hopefully, you know, I inspire somebody else.
Yeah, it's funny how people just get motivation out of nowhere and off things that you don't necessarily find that motivating. You get me? It's kind of funny. It's kind of like I kind of think about it like the analogy or kind of like what I had in my head that seems somewhat relatable is when someone thinks like a video is hilarious as fuck and they have you watching like a 3 minute video that you're just like, okay, like what the fuck? Yeah, that's kind of like how I imagined it in my head. But at the end of the day, everybody's gonna get things done if they really want to, and they're gonna find a way in which they're gonna be efficient with it. Because if they really want to, they're gonna find the steps that are necessary and that fit their style of learning, their style of actually doing stuff or taking action that will get them to that goal. And for some of us from the outside, it might not make sense, but as long as it makes sense and it helps those people reach their goals, I mean that's fine. I feel going back to corporations or not even corporations, schools, bro, they just kind of teach you one certain way, and then like this is it, this is how you're supposed to do it, and you get older and you find out other ways in which you do stuff. Like for example, I'm gonna give you a clear example. Remember when they used to teach us how to multiply with big numbers, like 32 by 64, right? And you know how it was like, oh yeah, you multiply these numbers and you add the zero and then you multiply the second set of numbers, right?
Yeah.
There's an easier way to do that, bro. There's like a way in which you just kind of like cross numbers, bro.
Yeah.
And you ultimately get the answers. I can't really explain it because I'm not that good at explaining it without visuals, but it's a different way in which most of us weren't taught, and it's so easy, bro.
Easy,
and it's and it's crazy how the school like by force it's just like this way, this way, this way, this way, this way,
Yeah.
this way, and it's just like imagine all those people that could have been really good at math finding it,
Yeah.
finding
The other
this
way.
method, yeah, exactly, finding this other
Yeah.
method to get to the same answer that you're getting.
Go.
Because
Answer. Yeah.
yeah, because at the end of the day, bro, I mean, what you're expecting out of people, at least you get me in the workplace, are people that are
The
efficient
results.
at their
Yeah.
job, that are
Yeah.
actually good at their job, and that will do their job maybe their way, but will get the same result that you're looking for. But if you're only going to
Yeah.
teach them one way and those people don't feel comfortable with them, then you're never really going to get or produce
Yeah.
anything out of those people. It's like the quote that Einstein said about basically the school system. If you judge
Mm-hmm.
a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then it's going to be thinking its whole life that it's stupid. And that's not always the case.
Yeah. Like there's this video that from ET, the hip hop
Mm-hmm.
teacher. In the video, he was talking about how there was this curriculum. I guess he had to write like an he had to write like an essay, I guess, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to the library, and I guess his professor told him that he wasn't going to be able to do it, because you had to do it this way, and that when he got his final grade,
Mm-hmm.
he I guess he emailed the the professor that curriculum of his grade and everything, and he's like, sorry, I couldn't do it your way, but I did it my way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's exactly that, bro. Like we can both write an essay, and we're gonna both write it differently. I can bet you that.
Okay.
Like you could put me, you, and four other writers, and I bet you that at least out of those four writers, at least three of us are gonna write it differently. You know, all of us can write it differently. Because everybody has different style of writing, a different style of learning. And which is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that we all learn like that, because the way that I learned how to make music and write was from another friend, because he would write. I forgot how he would write. I think he would write in bubbles. Like he would write a brainstorm, and like he'll write the name of the title of the song in the first bubble, and then he'll write the topics on the sides. So then I started doing that, and then I started writing. I started writing that, and then I started writing what didn't fit in the bubbles. I would write. Uh, um, I would write a lot of. Like I say, if I'm gonna write about school, I
Ideas.
write ideas and like, what about school? Da, 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 da. And I make a big line, and then I just write, okay, like if I say school, what's in school, like whatever, like things that fall in the branch of school. So I started learning how to write like that, and then my friend John Torres he taught me how to write differently, and then so you just everybody learns differently, everybody has that style of organization differently too. Because I've seen a lot of people organize differently, but it's like I said, it's unique and it's good, and you learn from other people, which is good.
Yeah, now that we kind of like are touching upon it, it's crazy how at the beginning, like you don't really appreciate the English subject a lot, as in not the English language, but the subject. But now looking at it, it's like English had the most freedom because with math, you were taught a certain way and it had to be that
Mm-hmm.
way. And sometimes you knew the answer in your head, at least I did, but it was still like, oh, show your work, show your work, show your work, show your work. And your work had
Yeah.
to be exactly how your teacher had taught you, when in reality, I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of just already saw the solution without doing all that hassle. And with
Yeah.
English, like you mentioned, you had flow charts, you had bubble charts, you had a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
different ways to organize basically your ideas, concept, your notes, right? Cornell
Mm-hmm.
notes. I don't know if you remember that. So
No.
you had a bunch of different ways in which you were able to organize ideas and concepts and ultimately create an essay that you had to kind of build from scratch for the most part, right? Without the quotes and the
Yeah.
paraphrasing, but I feel like with English now, looking looking back at it, bro, I feel like it's a little bit underappreciated, bro. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
bit boring just because of some of the books and some of the lectures that
Mm-hmm.
we had to go through. right? I don't even know
Yeah.
how many times I read Romeo and Juliet, bro. But what do you call it? But the way that you were able to think and express yourself, it was more free in comparison to other subjects, right? Because, for example, like with
Yeah.
history, you had to actually write down specific dates. Everything was very,
Mhm.
very specific. Math, it was very specific.
Mhm.
Like the way that you had to solve problems was their way, and everything
Mhm.
else as well. I mean, science in itself is just overall just facts, right?
Yeah.
Or quote unquote facts of what we have so far in research. But there has to be like a congruent answer that you already know. Like you that subject, you
Mhm.
really have to study it. But with English, it was more free. I don't know if that kind of makes
Creative.
sense. Yeah, it was more
It was
creative.
more.
There you go. More
Yeah.
free and creative.
And that's the reason why, bro. I like a lot in a lot of my other classes, I'll get like, bro, I'm not even good at math, bro. And in my job, that's one of the main things that I use is math.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I was never good at math. Now English, I liked it because it was creative, like you mentioned, like you had more freedom to it. You know, like you can write a certain way. You can you can do many things, and that's what I appreciate about writing. You know, that you can it's an expression, it's an outlet of expression, and and anybody can do it. You know.
I got a question for you, bro. Now that you're writing a book, how important were those English lessons?
Uh, to be honest, man, like it was very important,
Uh
you
huh.
know, because obviously, like the teachers would have you, I guess, like I remember one time my teacher had me write a 10-page essay,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't hate her like that, but at the time I did. You know, that man, why you making me write a 10-page essay? You know,
Yeah.
but it's good though because like now I have like a book that I'm writing and it's like almost 50 pages, and
Mm.
I'm like wow, like it makes me appreciate that, you know,
Yeah,
that push. But
you're like wow. I was bitching about 10 pages. Now I
yeah,
got like
10,
fucking 50.
you know, hey, I'm gonna make sure she gets this. Nah,
Yeah.
but it was cool because when I wrote the when I wrote the 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 essay she had me write,
Mm-hmm.
she made me read it a few pages in front of the class because she was just like very, I guess, surprised
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning. But I'm just like, I'm a rapper, you know. I should be able to know how to rap. You know what I mean?
Rhythm and
But
poetry.
right. And she was just like, "Wow, you're very articulate with your words. Like you're very vivid. Crazy
Uh
because
huh.
I just mentioned like, oh, you know, the orange brown leaves falling from the tree or whatever. And then I was like, I went into the brown, opened the brown door. What I was just being descriptive. And then I was like laying in my bed with orange sheets, and she's just like, wow, like you're. It's like I'm seeing a movie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like when I'm writing, I want to make sure that I'm doing my job as a writer. And when you read, you're like, wow, like this letter punched me in my face. This word, this color punched me in my throat. Understand? But but you know what I mean. I just want to paint. I want to paint that picture as an artist, as an artist, as a singer, rapper, whatever. You know, it's kind of like we're all trying to tell a story. You know, you can tell a story in anything. If you really think about it, you can. You know, and but yeah, like I've learned a lot from 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 writing. You know, from writing. So
Yeah, are you gonna move into other genres of books if all goes well, or are you just gonna write about your life and that's it, bro?
honestly, I haven't thought about it. I mean, I could
You could.
because I could
Yeah,
because I
you
mean
could.
I can
Why not?
I can why not, right? I mean uh, I could, and that's an idea that I mean that you just brought up, and like I said, I haven't thought about it, but I'll keep that in mind. It's funny because I have a friend at work, and he's like, "Man, P," he's like he's always excited. He's like, "Man, P," he tells me how he's excited for me to write this book. He's like, "Man, I heard your music. I know you had a rough life. Man, I can't wait to read your book. I know it's gonna be crazy. I can tell." He's like, he's giving me ideas on the book cover, and I'm like, bro, like I'm gonna get there when it's time. But he loves to read, so
Yeah.
he's like he's just like, it's crazy to know a writer, and I'm like, to me it's just like, that's crazy, because I'm a big Stephen King fan,
Mm-hmm.
so never in a million years I thought I'd be writing a book. Never. I never thought I'd. What's crazy is I remember my first Facebook post. I think it was in 2013.
See
Mm,
you.
2013. I posted, and I was like, I'm about to write a book, and I procrastinated. And then one time I was at work, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna write a book. And then I came home, and my brother had a laptop, and I was like, hey bro, let me use your laptop. And I was writing, and he's like, bro, you can have the laptop. I don't use it no more. And I'm like, why don't you use it? He's like, because it's really slow. And all I told him was like, bro, because you have a lot of things downloaded, like Netflix, other stuff, and that's why it's slow. So I deleted all these apps that he had on the laptop, and it started running. It started running fast, and I was like, he's gonna ask for a back watch.
Uh-huh.
But he never did, and I was like, I felt bad. I was like, you know what, bro? Here, I'll give you 200 for the laptop,
Yeah.
just because I felt kind of like I don't want to be taking advantage of that. But it kind of like served me well. I'm able to do my music. I'm able to write, and it's good, man. It's beautiful.
I feel like you should take
I'm excited.
advantage of your talent, bro. If you are able to easily describe a setting, a place, people, an environment, the feels of being in a certain situation, why not? Why not create a
Yeah.
story that I'm not saying that your story isn't captivating, but a story that could be a little bit over exaggerated, a little bit more on the fantasy side or horror side or whatever genre it is that you
Yeah.
decide to go into, and give people a crazy show. Like, why not, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot, I can even write something that turns out into a movie.
Yeah, you never
Um,
know. You never fucking know,
you never
bro.
know. That's crazy. But yeah, man, like at the very beginning, I don't know if I mentioned this on the first episode, but on the very beginning of the book, I have the intro,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have where I'm at. I have where I talk about the buildings in LA. I talk about the bus, the color, the letters, the freaking number, the freaking everything. I have a friend as a writer, and this guy can write. And you read his stuff, and you're just like, you can picture yourself there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And he told me, he's like, bro, he's like, wow, like your book is amazing, and he was like, that he can smell, he can taste, he can picture himself where I'm writing, and as for him as a writer to tell me that, it's a beautiful thing because it means I'm doing my job right, and and you just gave me this idea too, like maybe I could write a fiction story about
Yeah.
freaking a cold night, freaking cold. Somebody's freaking breathing, so it's breathing outside, and freaking his mouth is bringing out smoke, and it looks like if he's smoking or something, and it's snowing and it's winter, whatever. But it's a beautiful thing, and honestly, it is a gift, and anything can happen. But you too, man. You're gifted. You're a gifted young man, and you do a lot, and you don't really take a lot of credit, and you deserve. And I know you tell me this. I know you said this one time. We don't deserve anything. And at first, I used to disagree with you. I was like, if we put in the work, we deserve it. But at the end of the day, we really don't. But I want to know why you think that. But before you answer, I want to say I admire you because off cameras you do a lot, man. Uh, you play soccer, you freaking edit, you freaking go to school, you put in the work, you train, you work out, you do a lot, and you need to be recognized for that. You're probably gonna tell me something on the phone and saying, but nah, you put in the work and you know. But
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts on why you feel like we don't deserve
All right, so I just want to
certain
say
things.
thanks for that, bro. Thanks for for hyping me up. Nah, but in all honesty, the only reason why I always say that nobody really deserves anything is because you have to look at it from both sides of the coin. Sometimes we don't like there's people out there that are really horrible people, bro, and they don't deserve to live, at least in my honest opinion, the life that they live, right? Because they
Yeah,
might have luxuries that a regular person may never ever have in their lifetime, or they have luxuries that somebody in need actually needs.
yeah,
And if you look at it from that perspective, then it's on the flip side too. You get me? Like there's some shit that people that have been very kind-hearted don't deserve to go through. Like there's some people that probably have never done anything bad in their life, bro, or anything too
yeah,
bad, because we're not perfect beings. But they have cancer and their parents just died, or they went through one of the most horrible or horrific accidents, or they lost a
yeah,
bunch of the people that they care about all at the same time. So I don't think anybody deserves anything in life. If we're being honest, sometimes you get a little lucky, but I don't really want to call it like full luck. But you just kind of get lucky sometimes with opportunities that are presented with themselves. I'm not saying that people
yeah,
didn't put in hard work, or you didn't do or didn't take steps to get in that position or to
yeah,
land that opportunity. But sometimes, I mean, there could be someone equally as talented as you, and
yeah,
just because you know this person in a higher position, or
yeah,
that person gets sick in, I don't know, the last tryouts, or they make a little small error, right? Like you get the position and you get the dream job, you get
yeah,
the big bucks and stuff. So I just feel like we don't deserve stuff. Like we have to earn them, and it's great when people earn them and you see the struggles, the trials and tribulations.
yeah,
But I don't think that people just have the right to just say like, I deserve this, I deserve this, I deserve that. If that's what you think, then it's fine and it's cool. But I mean, when things go bad, you can't say that you don't deserve it. Does that kind of make any
hmm
sense? Like if
it makes
you gotta you gotta accept the good with the bad.
yeah, no, it makes perfect sense now. Now I see the bigger picture. And you're right, man. There's good people out there that don't deserve going through what they're going through, and people do have things that, and we live in a crazy world, and you know, so I agree with you. Uh, I agree with you, man. 100%. You gave me that. You gave me a different view in life, and then I have a different perspective. You know.
Yeah, because to say deserve, that includes everything, bro. The good and the bad.
Yeah.
It's like in a relationship, it's like the person that you're gonna deal with. It's good and it's bad, bro. It's good and it's bad.
Mhm.
Everything that you do in life is good and it's bad. Even like the thing that you find the healthiest or the most kind of, what is it, that you think it's the best for you is gonna come with some good and bad. We just talked about it last time. It's like choose whatever bullshit you
Yeah.
wanna kind of deal with it. So if you're rich, you're probably gonna get sued, right? Or there's probably somebody that's gonna want to sue
Yeah.
you. If you're hot, bro, I mean that's good, right? But at the same time, there's people that are not really gonna like you. They're just gonna want to bone you, and that's it, right? As a female, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like I just feel if you're gonna go by I deserve, then you gotta kind of agree or silently agree or make a quiet pact that if you're gonna think that way, then that means that you deserve the good and the bad, bro. Because that's what
Yeah.
life is made out of.
Kind of balance. Life is made
Exactly.
out of balance. Yeah. But
it's like the
you
same
know,
thing if with water, right? The water is one of the most important, things in life, and it's something that we
yeah,
need to survive. But if you take too much water with not enough salt, it's very dangerous. You get me? Like it's
yeah.
too much of a good thing is a bad thing. You get me?
Well, too much of everything is bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Too much of everything,
Big facts.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, cheers to you, man. Cheers to you. I'm over here like, yeah. That's
Nah,
what's
yeah,
up,
man.
man.
So I think that's gonna wrap up the show, bro, for today. This is episode 2. Anything you want to say, bro, before we close out?
um, just one for the people is let go of fear. Don't get comfortable. Get uncomfortable. Uh, don't wait till tomorrow. Well, actually, yes, it's already nighttime. But like the saying, man, it's like don't wait for the next day, because then the next day is gonna come, and then I wait till tomorrow, and then the next day is gonna come, and then it's not gonna happen. Screw the excuses. Throw away the excuses and do it now. And don't blame anybody for anything. That's one of the biggest things. Is don't focus on yourself. Don't blame anybody else, and get to work. And that's that. And only time will tell what we're made of. Only time will tell what we're made of. So again, focus on yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Put in the work, and no more excuses. And like I said, man, we'll see where time takes us.
and
So
while and while
that's
we're
all.
and while we're on air, bro, since I'm gonna have some time off, or do you want to maybe record sometime during the week as well? Maybe record for these next 3 weeks a podcast during the week as well.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for whatever, bro. You let me know, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, I'll just get back to you behind the behind the screen, behind the stage, and then just kind of just kind of message you there. Maybe we could set up a day during the week where we could record a second podcast throughout the week.
Hold on. Hey, we can set it up right now. Hold
I'm gonna
on.
text you right now. All right then, bro.
All right, man. Thank you, man. I
Uh,
appreciate you. All right.
thank you, bro. Much love.